This is an Off the Tongue podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back.
I am Doug.
I am Greg.
And this is Mike.
And this is the It's Funny That Makes It Okay podcast. We're part of the Off the Tongue podcast network, which also includes the Greener Grass podcast, Skate Mansfield, the original Copycats, Pint Pals, Teach a Dummy, and several others. So please check that out. Give them all a listen. And I'm sure you will find something, if not all, that you really, really enjoy.
You will.
All right. Well, today we are going to start off with some stuff. I think Greg's got something off
Couple
the top.
little things, yeah.
And then Mike is going to drive the rest of the show. So we will let Greg.
I hope he doesn't crash.
I hope so myself.
I don't think he can hurt the podcast.
Well, he's driving.
Well, if we crash and burn at the end,
This
you'll know.
podcast is like a 1974 Bonneville. It's already beat up. It's not gonna hurt it.
True.
You're not gonna hurt it.
All right. Well, we'll get started. Okay. So today, as we're recording this, and last week, we've had some bad weather in our area. And
Spring in the Midwest.
Yes. And I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on the coverage of bad weather in our area.
You haven't said anything. I think I know where you're going to go. I don't
know. I don't really. I'm
what was your,
I'm
I think
frustrated. Lori and I were the last storm we had a week ago. These guys come on like 2 hours prior to any bad weather reaching us, and they start warning. Well, they start a week before, start warning us that there's potential for storms a week from Friday. And it's like,
can I add some context?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the town where Doug and I live was absolutely just ravaged by a tornado 10 years ago.
True.
So I can tell, especially where we live, people are still very savvy, or not savvy, but I mean they're very
aware
for severe weather.
Do you think that triggers the news people to be that way? Then
I don't know, but some of our community, and even Morton, not a long time ago,
20 years ago,
they got hit. So it's like it happens. It definitely happens.
It does, and we realize that. But as we're listening to it, we're like, we listen for like a half hour, and it's like, I don't know a word they just said. They've got boxes and parallelograms on the screen, and they've got, red and green, and they said, well, if this has got a curve here and a curve here, that could mean rotation. And it's like, what are you telling? Should I go to the basement? Should I not go to the basement? I don't know what you're telling us. It's like you're confusing us. And as we were watching, I'm just thinking back to the old days. I want the little scroll across the bottom that says you are under a watch or you are under a warning. Yeah. And if something is serious, like it's really coming your way, pop on the screen and say, run and hide, because it's on its way.
Yep.
It's like these two were just, they were on for over 2 hours, and the storm wasn't that bad.
They're driving numbers. That's my opinion. Not that it's not important information at times.
Right.
I feel like they like to whip it up a little worse than it is, because people will tune in.
Oh, they whip it good.
They whip it real good. People will tune in to listen or watch. And television numbers are down anyway, so they kind of want to drive that. They're competing with a lot.
But do you think it makes more people watch? Because it's starting to annoy me where I don't want to watch.
I don't watch. My mom does religiously, and she follows the local weather guy on the Facebook. On the Facebook.
Oh, and the national one's even worse, because they'll talk about a storm that's going to be in the southeast or something. It's going to affect 35 million people or whatever.
That is what I wrote down, because I thought that's where you were going.
Well, that was going to be part of it, but
because I saw that last week when they're saying, the Midwest is primed for severe storms that could affect 100 million people. Well, because there's that many people in the Midwest. It's not going to hit every single one of us. But they make it sound like we could lose half. 50 million could die.
I'm a little concerned.
It could happen, Doug. It could happen.
Well, yeah, an asteroid could fall down and smash me on the head, but it probably isn't.
I feel like it's sensationalism. I mean, and these two, the one guy will talk and he'll talk about his area, and I think he's talking about the red and the green and the curves. And the other guy is looking at his iPad going, okay, well, let me see I think this one's going to expire in the next 5 minutes. It's like, and meanwhile, we got pretty much zip weather-wise. It stormed a little bit. I mean, in the old days, that I know
nothing.
Crotchety old man about the weather, but
well, and they canceled a bunch of the school stuff. I already heard from that. And again, be safe.
Yeah.
But we're crotchety old men. So back in the day, it was like, no, it just went. We went into the hall, and when it was over, we went back to class. I remember several times going in the hall, sitting there. The lights were off. You sitting there. Maybe one or two kids are crying. The rest of us are kind of like joking or making a joke. Or
Of course, Doug's making them cry. But.
It could be, but. And then when it was over, they get up and, all right, well, back to class.
Yeah.
That was it.
And one other quick thing related to this is the sirens. For some reason, our local news station, because somebody complained that one of the cities here turned on their sirens, and they were complaining that why did it was Eureka, which is another city 20 miles from here or whatever, and they were complaining that that one city put its sirens on. Why did they do that? And the weather people come on. They said, well, it's up to the individual city whether, we give them the information from the National Weather Service. It's up to the city whether they want to turn their sirens on or not. But they've emphasized the last couple times that, those aren't designed to hear indoors. You should only hear those outdoors. It's like, well, what purpose? I'm not going to be outdoors during the storm, probably. I'm probably going to be indoors. So what good are they?
In fairness, I could be out on my porch watching.
Yeah. Well, I could. But I'm an idiot then anyways for being out there.
That's what we watched the Washington tornado from was.
Yeah. I mean, so you're not going to hear them if they're not meant to be heard indoors. You're not going to hear them in your car. You're not going to hear them. But I heard them. And I told Lori today, I said, I heard them indoors. I don't know.
Where are you in a small town like that you can't hear it indoors? I feel like they need to turn the volume up if that's the case.
Well, I think some people were more people complaining, but I think people were complaining that, did the sirens go on? I didn't hear them. And they're like, well, you're not supposed to hear them indoors.
They complain the flip side if they didn't run the sirens and something actually happened.
They do.
Yeah. You can't win, Greg. Nobody can win. You can't win because they're confusing you with the red and green. The people on the thing can't win because all they can talk about is the red and green.
That's right.
People have to hear the sirens, and we have to go on Facebook, and we have to hear about the bickering of the sirens.
And if I'm at work and the tornado hits, I'm done anyway. 'Cause our building is paper thin. We're going to go flying off into the oblivion when it hits our building. We just decided today at work we're going to huddle in the men's bathroom and hold hands.
Oh, nice.
Little kumbaya moment.
Yep.
So that's on the weather. One other quick thing.
Michael rode the boat ashore.
So one other thing is I was headed out.
At that point, I'd be like, come on, tornado.
Yeah. Hit me.
Get me out of this bathroom.
Come on. I'm not holding hands with anybody.
Especially in the bathroom.
No.
So the other thing, real quick, is driving related. I was headed out North Morton Avenue the other day. That's what is that? An east-west running? No, it's a north-south running street.
Yeah.
And it goes over the interstate. And there's two traffic lights, one on each side of the interstate that you go up over the bridge to get across. As I'm approaching it, I'm almost there, and I look, and they've got a stop sign set up. And I'm like, must be a problem with the lights. But the light was green. So now I've got a dilemma. Do I want to go through the light or do I stop because there's a stop sign? What would you do? That's my question.
I would stop personally
because there were cars waiting at the other part of the light, but theirs was red.
See, I would stop. It wouldn't be like for a minute. I mean, I would stop, check my surroundings, and then if I'm good, like that light says, then I'm going to go.
Well, that's what I did. I hesitated.
But is the light all out of whack? Like that would be my concern. Like that would be like what if it's stuck on green?
So did you stop or did you hesitate?
I hesitated. I didn't stop completely. I'm like looking. Okay,
through the intersection slowly.
It's green. You can't bust me for the stop sign. You got a green light. I mean, but the cars over here were stopped. Now I go over the bridge and the next light is flashing red.
Yeah, the flashing red means stop.
So yeah, now we got a stop sign, a
That's
green
what I
light,
mean.
and a flash.
Which takes precedent? Is it the sign or the light?
I don't know. That was my confusion. I was like, I don't know what to do.
What if there's a flagger out there? Like another
Then
party.
I would have been.
It just,
I feel like that if there's a person manning the sign, okay, I will follow that.
They get precedence. So,
But if the sign is just there and there's a green light, that's a tough time.
and
I don't know.
and the stop sign was literally almost under the green light. So it's like you look at the stop sign, you look at the green. I don't know what to do. I
think you did the right thing because I think that cancels out and makes it yellow. Caution.
Yeah, I'm cautious. I'm looking.
Cautious.
So I don't know. It was just that. I don't know. Another thing. I'm not griping about that one. I'm just confused. The weather I was griping about.
I would be more. It's like, why is the stop sign here? That would catch my intrigue more.
Yeah, my guess is there was probably a problem with the lights since the other one was flashing red. But this one's working now. You need to move that.
Yeah.
You're going to kill someone because someone's either going to blow through it or they're going to come to a complete stop.
Well, that stop sign is only meant to be observed indoors or outdoors. Or
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was just curious what you guys would do.
Let's stop.
I probably
think I
would
would
just
stop.
slow like you did. Kind of like. I'm not saying that's right. That's probably the wrong thing.
I feel
but
like
I'm being honest.
I feel like it'd be a setup. Like the cops are somewhere. Like, ooh, what's this guy gonna do?
Yeah.
Can we bust this guy? Like, I don't know. I'd stop. Like I said, not forever, but
Yeah.
I've
Got another what would you do, but I won't do it tonight. I'll wait on that one because it's going to get long.
Intrigue. All right. Well, is that your intro?
Yep, that's my
All
intro.
right. Well, I wanted to run the podcast tonight because I've been away for so long, and I collected a lot of weird, random stories. We're going to go all over the place this episode.
I love it.
But I thought it would be fun to just maybe take the wheel for once to see how it goes.
Cool. Yep, that's good.
So, getting back into the swing of things here, the very first section.
People already commenting. This is the best episode ever.
If only. This is an only Mike's takeover of the podcast. I've got I called it the oddities. These
He
are
is
some
doing the
odd-
podcast completely naked, which is odd.
That
because
is
this
odd.
is not a video.
We're not even in the bathroom together.
We can hold hands up for that.
Sorry.
I don't hear any sirens, so
So I've got this first
Is that
story
a
here.
turtle in your pants? Or are you just happy to see?
We'll wait and find out.
Okay.
So I had seen this story a while ago. This was one of those things that grabbed my attention. Study confirms that ancient Egyptian mummies smell pleasant. What?
pleasant.
So, first of all, okay, I get we probably study mummies for a bunch of other random things.
Yeah.
But I've never once thought, how would
how
this
they
dead
smell.
body
Yeah.
who's been dead for thousands of years, how would this person smell?
We've
never
had
crossed my
stories
mind.
though where people break in and smell shoes of people and stuff. So
That's true.
nothing surprises me anymore.
That's
Would
true.
you rather smell your neighbor's dirty shoes or a mummy that's been in the crypt for 5,000 years?
I'm going the mummy.
I'm with you.
And you know what? I'm getting the curse, and that's fine because I'm not smelling my neighbor's shoe. The mummy will curse me, and it'll be just
Your
like the
neighbor's
movie.
shoe could curse you. We don't know.
You know what the mummy's going to curse you with, though, of making you smell shoes for the rest of your life.
So the study was from the Journal of the American Chemical Society, because apparently that's a thing too. Scientists wanted to know, well, if mummies still smell nice after being deceased for thousands of years. Because yes, let's spend our time on this.
You know they got some grant to do this.
Oh, absolutely. So it says Egyptian mummies were stuffed with and embalmed with all sorts of good-smelling stuff to cover up the smell of death. Dr. Cecilia Bembire and her team decided to find out how the mummy smelled 5,000 years later. It did say, yes, that it was paid for via the National Institutes of Health. So there you go. Regardless of the reasoning why it had never been done before, we now know that the mummies smell kind of nice. The doctor was quoted as saying, "We were surprised by the pleasantness of the smell." So what exactly do they smell like?
Did they use Febreze on them?
Be happy, Febreze. So what exactly do the mummies smell like? Well, they were reported as smelling like mostly woody, spicy, and sweet. And that's quite the combo, in my opinion. Woody, spicy, and sweet.
So it's all the flavors?
I guess.
Or do you get a choice? I would like my mummy to smell
Well, maybe
sweet.
it depends on where you are. Maybe the left arm is a little spicy.
Could be.
You know, maybe it just kind of depends. But that's a lot. I don't know. That's a weird smell combo, in my opinion. They thought the smell was so pleasant that they're going to share the mummy scent with the world by recreating it at the Museum of Cairo. So they're going to set that up. So if you go to the museum, you know, you can have the exhibit where you go in and sniff mummy
Sniff
scent.
the mummies. Scratch and sniff.
Pretty soon it'll be a candle scent. Like, hey, this is the
Vanilla
greatest.
The new Yankee, the new Yankee candle.
Yeah. Mummy.
Yeah. So it's like these kind of stories too. We're doing all sorts of weird things in science, but again, I never would have thought let's sniff a mummy. Like that never would have crossed my mind
Yep.
as a scientific study.
Oh, I see where they're making woolly mammoth mice.
Yeah. I do say maybe that'll be also. I may have to get that car air freshener, one of those little trees too. I'll put that in my car. It's mummy.
Will it be a tree or just a little mummy shaped?
Ooh, you know, it could be a sarcophagus.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
So that's the first one.
Well, did you see that they did a study, too? It said in that article that there was an actual study to see if the mummy's curse actually shortened people's lives.
What'd they find?
It was a government study. We paid for it. I haven't found out how much.
I'm getting Doge on that.
But they did a whole study where they took 25 people. It says they exposed them to the curse. Now, I don't know how you get exposed. What does that mean? I thought the person exposed was just the one who opened the tomb. What? I'm not up on my mummy's curse. Maybe
I
there's...
don't know. I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. There were some curses on there.
There was.
Yeah.
But they did this whole study where the average age, you know, of death was 70 and 75 before. Basically, it was no evidence was found for the existence of a mummy's curse. So we probably spent, you know, $12 million for that. But anyway, just passing that along.
I would rather be part of the study group that goes in and sniffs the mummies than being exposed to a curse.
Well, there's part of the group that isn't exposed.
The placebo.
Yeah, can I have that one?
Placebo.
Yeah. But you don't know
I'm cursed.
they have a mannequin wrapped up in like toilet paper, or they have the mummy. You don't know which one you're going to get. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Well, I would rather it be fair like that so that you don't know.
Some guy's wandering around. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. I was exposed to the curse." Yeah. Meanwhile, he's just looking at a JCPenney mannequin. All right. Oh, here's a little teaser. Previously said this man this is from the AP was making his way through the New Jersey airport when he was found with a live turtle concealed in his pants.
What's wrong with people?
I guess he wanted to come out of his shell.
I hope
Or he
it
really went into a shell.
He
I don't
could
know.
have went into a shell. If it's cold, maybe the turtle's in the shell.
So, was it his emotional support turtle?
We'll find out. So it says a Pennsylvania man who was going through security at a New Jersey airport in Newark was found to have a live turtle concealed in his pants, according to the TSA. The turtle was detected Friday after a body scanner alarm went off at the Newark Liberty Airport. Can you imagine being that TSA officer? He's like, hold on, what?
Is there anything
What
you're
is
not
this?
telling us?
I mean, I'm sure they see some weird things, but that's also probably on that guy's bucket list. So the officers conducted a pat down. And, found something concealed in the groin area of the man's pants. When questioned further...
Are you wearing a cup?
Yeah, it's like, what's going on down there? When questioned further, the man reached into his pants and just casually pulled out...
I think it moved. Sorry.
He just casually reached in and pulled out the turtle. Because at that point, I guess you're pretty much made. The turtle was about 5 inches long, wrapped in a small blue towel. It was a red ear slider turtle, a species that is popular as a pet.
Did he unzip to feed the turtle?
And, okay, if you make it past TSA at this point, like, kind of on that, it's like, you're going to sit the whole flight with a turtle in your pants, too.
I'm trying to see, too, where was the flight going? It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
See, I feel like I need to know, was it like international, or was he just going from like
Puddle jumper.
Pennsylvania to I don't
you
know, St.
imagine-
Louis? It's like, what are you doing?
We were talking last week, we talked about the 17-hour flight, or whatever it was, from India that had to be rerouted because the toilets were full.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not sitting 17 hours with a turtle smuggled in
Okay,
my
would you
pants.
rather sit with a turtle in your pants for 17 hours or take the flight with the 11 clogged toilets?
Oh, man. I'd go with the turtle.
It depends if we're turning around or not. I don't want the turtle, but I don't want to turn around because people clog the toilets.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
So they had quoted somebody from the TSA. They said, "We've seen travelers try to conceal knives, weapons, other stuff like in their shoes, in their luggage. However, I believe this is the first time we have come across someone who's concealing a live animal down the front of his pants."
Southwest probably charged him for an extra seat for the turtle.
Well, you know, to be fair,
He stowed.
they're starting to charge. They're starting to charge more for luggage and overhead
Yeah.
bins. He's like, I ain't paying for the turtle.
This is my carry-on. Yeah. So
I wonder if it was some kind of a prank, a fraternity prank, or
I don't know.
we'll have to follow up because it says the incident remains under investigation and it wasn't clear if the man faced charges or penalties. We'll have to
maybe
follow
he
up.
was in a fantasy football league and he lost, and this was the punishment. I've seen some really creative, weird things that they make the loser of the league do. So
I'm surprised it wasn't the emotional support turtle. No, he's my emotional support turtle.
Yeah, that's all he had to say.
He's emotionally supporting me from my pants.
It's wearing a little.
you want to see my emotional support turtle?
Zip.
TSA is like, no,
No,
I don't.
he does
see
not
my,
have a leash on.
You want to see my emotional support taser?
My goodness. So much nonsense.
It is.
All right. So the next one, well, if I can get this.
I do think Doug said before we started that you do not want that to be a snapping turtle.
No,
No, you don't.
that might. Yeah,
I'm going to take the red ear slider over to the big old alligator
Claws,
snapping
though,
turtle.
They still, if you saw, they had claws like they dig and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
they dig.
They
What?
test. They
What?
dig.
One snap, though, and you're done.
Oh,
I mean, it's
yeah.
over.
Yeah, it's not going to
it's
go
done.
well.
All right. Well, the next one here is also an animal story. And if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you're familiar with the monkeys. Monkeys
Yes,
and their antics. I mean, we've covered stories from monkeys stealing blood, monkeys getting drunk,
Yep.
going on drunken rampages.
A monkey
people's-
ranch and they escape.
Yep.
peeling people's faces off.
Yes.
Yeah. So monkeys are capable.
Attacking a drive-through worker.
Yeah,
We've had it all. We've had.
the monkeys are crazy.
They are monkeys. They are crazy.
And people need to stop having them as pets because an escaped pet monkey was captured after going on a home burglary spree. This was in Peru, so out of the country, international. Authorities in Peru apprehended the unusual burglary suspect who was responsible for ransacking multiple homes. It was an escaped pet monkey. The Peru National Forestry and Wildlife Service said that they responded alongside vet staff to the Ica Municipal Zoo, where a monkey was seen on rooftops, trees, and power lines in a housing complex.
Hold it. What was he doing at the zoo?
Well, I think he actually...
He was a pet. Was he just so? Did he go from? Maybe he wanted to go.
I
to
see, he
the-
wanted to go to the
visit
zoo.
some friends.
Yeah, I think so. Because apparently his owner is neglecting it. He's letting him get out. There's no ground rules. I mean, he's breaking into houses and stealing stuff. So the monkey was a male black-capped capuchin. He was found to have broken into a number of local homes and caused damage. I wanted a number, but they didn't give me a number. But I'm imagining he's just going down the block. Like, he's just going from door to door, breaking in. And officials said the monkey is native to the Amazon, which is not in the same Ica area in Peru, which led them to believe that, yes, the primate was an escaped pet. And it does say small. The picture of him up at the top, it's like, he looks like he's maybe the size of like a small dog. Like he's a decent sized monkey, but he's not huge, like a baboon or something like that. So I could see how he could break into houses and cause some mayhem. But they said the monkey is too domesticated to release into its natural habitat, but it was unclear if he would remain at the zoo or be moved to a new permanent home or at another zoo or sanctuary.
Well, the headline says escaped pet monkey captured after home burglary spree, but then it sounds like he just ransacked the home. That's not
Did
really
he take
burglary.
anything?
Yeah,
See,
that's what, did he take something?
He had to take something. A banana.
That was one of my questions because I like to imagine. Yeah, he was up to like some tomfoolery or something. He's like maybe he's hooking his buddy up with some booze. The Russian monkey.
Yeah.
maybe
Yes.
he was hitting him up for that.
Some knives, some beer. The Russian monkey went after the brown liquor.
That's
the hard
that's
liquor.
true. The top shelf
Was
stuff.
that Garrick?
Garrick?
Garrett,
Yeah,
the monkey, and the knife.
he was an angry drunk, old Garrick.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he was after, but he could have gone for.
I guess
food.
after hearing that story, I'd be much happier if they just robbed me rather than assaulted me with a knife after he'd been drinking. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, and maybe he stole stuff from certain houses. Maybe he ransacked others. I don't know. Maybe it's
I would like a list of what he stole. I think that would be.
How did he get in though? I mean, were windows open? I guess that probably could have been a possibility.
I like to think of him having a lock picking.
Yeah, I do. You got a
like
little
Magnum's
briefcase.
Work the lock. Don't look at the dogs. Work the lock. Don't look at the and like some really high-tech security systems. He's punching the number, destroying it.
Or climbing through the lasers that are going across the room.
Yeah, doing jumping through the little laser.
Yeah.
Takes dust, throws it up so you can see all the lights coming through it. That's what I like to picture in my head.
Well, yeah, you want to be a smart monkey.
Of course, he could just pick up a brick and bash a window and walk.
Yeah. Well, he's got to ransack at some point. So.
Yes, he does.
Well, there's that one. The monkeys, I know we've talked about sharks and stuff, but the monkeys, I don't want to be caught up with a monkey. So I think on the would you rathers from here on out, I think I'm always going to take the opposite thing from a monkey.
Monkeys are dangerous and they will kill you, but it could be very entertaining too.
It could.
So you can die, but it could in an entertaining way. You could be entertained until the last second, like, oh no, I made a mistake. I don't feel like you're going to get entertained.
You looked
with the
him
shark.
in the eye.
But the monkey be like, oh, look at Monkey, and he's doing funny things, and that, and then he stabs you with his knife. But
I don't want to be ransacked.
next thing you know, he's shoving a turtle down your pants, making you go to the airport.
The monkey's telling you, I've got a way for you to really sneak in this turtle. So the next chunk of stories I had seen these, and it just kind of blew me away. It's about Cheetos.
Yes.
Specifically, a Pokemon-shaped Cheeto that sold for $88,000. A Cheeto. And I get that Pokemon is like a big collectible thing with the cards, and they've got other little like memorabilia. But this is a Cheeto. All right, we'll get into it. The collectible world was abuzz about an auction that featured a Cheeto in the shape of a Pokemon called Charizard. And it was a flamin' hot Cheeto, so the fire Pokemon corresponds with the flamin' hot Cheeto, apparently. And I will say that this is an oddly shaped Cheeto that, like, I wouldn't believe it looked like this if you pulled it out of the bag. Like, if you were just eating Cheetos and you pulled this one out of the bag, like, I wouldn't believe it would be shaped this way.
It is very odd.
It's like a side profile of, like, a dragon. Like, if that's how you kind of see it. It's got a head with, like, a horn, a wing on the back, and he's kind of hunched over with his little arms and his legs. And it does have, like, a tail with fire on it. It does, from the side, kind of look like a dragon, and it's got the Charizard Pokemon that it resembles, like, next to it. It's like, okay, I can kind of see it maybe if I look hard enough from the side.
Yeah.
But for $88,000, someone paid $88,000 for a flaming hot Cheeto. And the other thing that gets me is, like, I know it's Pokemon, but it also mentions in the article that the next nearest Pokemon-shaped Cheeto was a Pikachu that sold for $25,000.
I'm going to start watching my Cheetos, man.
People apparently will spend large sums of money if you can find Cheetos that look like Pokemon.
What do you do with this? Okay, so even if I had the money, what am I going to do with an $88,000 Cheeto?
That was
And
one of my first questions.
Dumb friends over there, all of a sudden you're crying, like, what are you doing? No!
Because I had tried to find who bought it, or again what they intended maybe to do with it, but you don't know. So will it just live on forever in their living room or something? I don't know.
I don't know. In a display case of some sort? Till the monkey comes and ransacks and steals
Not my
it.
Cheeto. Not my Charizard Cheeto.
And I'd be terrified to ship it to him.
It says it's the most Oh, no, it says, while it's not the most money ever spent for a Cheeto, it is the most money spent on a Pokemon-shaped Cheeto. So that means somewhere in the world, somebody
There's a
spent
more expensive.
more money on another type of Cheeto.
I know what that one is.
What
was
is
it?
Well, I'll give you guys. We'll play a quick little game. How much do you think that they spent for the most expensive Cheeto?
I'm going to go like $250K. I mean, it's got to be some insane amount. I'm guessing.
I was going lower. I was at $129.
$99,900. You know what it was shaped like?
Is it Jesus?
Michael Jordan.
No.
Oh, that might have been.
Do you remember Harambe the gorilla? It is shaped
monkey.
like Harambe the gorilla. Yep,
Harambe specifically.
Oh my gosh.
that's what it
Not
says.
just any gorilla.
This says.
Oh, yeah, it's
Harambe.
Harambe. Yeah, for sure.
It does kind of look like a gorilla
Well,
hanging from the
I
tree.
mean, I could see that, but
I don't know if it's worth $99,900.
well, and then how did we determine it was Harambe?
Oh, that's
Harambe.
Harambe.
That's a picture
Harambe,
of Harambe.
Greg. That's Harambe.
But I could stick another gorilla's picture in there.
Oh
no,
not
you
Harambe. Yeah, I don't think I would have spent more than like $64,000 for that.
Oh, that's where I top out. Yeah.
For Harambe. Sorry.
I'll trade you a Harambe and a Pikachu for.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I imagine with the auction, it's like Barrett Jackson, like one of these fancy luxury
Become
car.
Barrett Jackson?
Yeah, the car auctions.
Coming across the block now.
They're rolling it up.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny Cheez-It. Or
It's on a
Cheeto
little
in
trailer,
case.
and they're pushing it across.
Yeah.
Guy with white gloves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very
And the guy's
luxury.
out there with his
Can
paddle.
you imagine you spent your
88,000.
whole life working? You're a top auctioneer. You're selling all these, multi-million-dollar cars, and they're like, "Oh, we got a Cheeto." I'll be like, yeah, "I'm not doing a
Oh,
Cheeto."
you are.
Maybe they start with the intern. You want to be? Oh, we're gonna let you do an auction. Yes, finally, my day. What? Harambe the gorilla Cheeto.
Can I get at least a Cheeto that looks like a car?
Nope. Sorry. Can't
Here's
do
a
that.
Corvette Cheeto.
Well, hey, if you did the Harambe Cheeto auction, you were history.
This
The
is
most
true.
expensive.
This is very
You would want
true.
the cut off that too.
So, speaking of more Cheetos, I had seen then another story about a Cheeto shaped like Michael Jordan, his Jumpman logo, his kind of, where he's
Yeah.
reaching up.
Feet extended.
Yeah, this one is also going to sell at auction. And this is on the heels of the Charizard Cheeto going for $88,000.
No, I gotta admit, I think the Charizard looked more like a Charizard to me than this. I can see where you're getting it, but go ahead. I didn't mean that.
No, this one's off. This one's off. You can kind of see his head with one arm maybe extending a basketball. And the two legs are not quite doing it for me. But his other arm is what kills it. There's no other arm.
Well, he's got like a bunny tail. I don't know what that. I thought he was like just like a Playboy bunny or something. Like, what is it?
That'd be weird.
Could have been
He got a bunny tail, or
the turtle. You never know.
he could have a turtle in his pants. I would pay more for that. This is a Cheeto of Michael Jordan doing the Jumpman with a turtle in his pants. Oh, that's $99,000 right there.
So this was posted a couple days ago. So as of now, I didn't have a current price, but this one was only at $366 after 3 bids. So this
I got to
one has-
start buying flaming Cheetos.
I guess.
So that brings me to one of my other main points. And I've got one more Cheeto thing after this. Do you think people at the Cheeto factory, do they make things like this on purpose? They're like, you know what? We're going to sculpt out a Harambe Cheeto. And we're going to see if anybody notices the Harambe Cheeto. And
They got a form that they set it up.
Yeah.
And what would be the odds of them doing that and then someone finding it?
Well, right after you paid $99,900, they come out with the Harambe Gorilla bag of them.
Yeah.
Like, no! It's worthless. I spent $99,000 and now you can buy a bag of them for $350 at the gas station.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you've
would
got-
register my first one.
You've got the first edition Cheeto.
Yes.
The original Harambe. The one of one. It's like sports cards. One of one.
That's right, 101.
Yeah. And then that takes me another point. It's like, yeah, do they get them graded? Or because, you
Guy
can have,
comes in with his jeweler's
Yeah, he's getting it
thing and looks at it. Okay.
this was graded a 9.5 out of 10. Ooh, very premium Cheeto quality. So on the heels of those two, I was like, I wanted to know what maybe some of the other weird Cheeto shapes have been found. And I did not know this, but there was a Cheeto, or I think maybe still is, a Cheetos gallery at an exhibit of a Ripley's Believe It or Not thing. It's part of like a little exhibit in the Ripley's Believe It or Not, a Cheeto gallery. So some of the other ones in here, this is a Flamin' Hot Cheeto. The first one it lists is a Italy boot. So it's like the boot kind of in the shape of Italy.
I think it looks more like a leg with a shoe on it or boot.
Because this one, I don't see it. If you look at Italy is kind of curved the other way, and this one is bent this way, and there's not really much of the toe, like the actual curve of the foot that Italy has.
It's Italy with a broken ankle.
I could see a boot, kind of a thigh-high boot.
A leg and a boot. I see that.
Did yours not have the first? My first one was the swimmer.
Oh, the swimmer, yeah. The kind of the top picture.
Is that does not look like a swimmer. And maybe it's
maybe that arm, I guess.
What? Maybe from Fallout, who's been mutated. He said that's the swimmer.
All of these are that.
Well, the boot looks more like a boot than the swimmer. That's what I'm getting.
But does it look like Italy?
It says
No.
or boot.
It would have to be boot.
So I'll go with boot.
Yes.
I like how they put a date, too, 2017.
Well, it's been graded.
The next one was turkey trot, and it's like the side profile of like a walking turkey.
Kind of.
And I can on this one, I'm like maybe 60% of the way there. You can kind of see him walking.
Maybe if we were sitting around eating lunch, watching cartoons, and we're all like 6, I'm like, look, I got a turkey. Oh, that's so cool, Mike. I got a turkey. As a grown
I would say
adult,
bird. I don't know if
no.
I see turkey or not, though.
Kind of looks like an ostrich to me, maybe a little bit more than a turkey.
Because it doesn't even have a little dangly thing over his
Or
beak.
pigeon. Like,
Yeah, pigeon.
I don't know.
The next one, I don't see this at all. I did not get this one. It's a fresh pineapple.
Oh, it's not fresh.
It doesn't
It's
even
very
look
stale.
like a pineapple to me.
It looks like coral.
Yeah,
Or it looks like a cross section of a heart that somebody yanked
I
out.
can kind of see that too. I see sea coral. Yeah, like if you just went to the coral reef, like yep, that's
Like you had the mummy curse, and he reached into your heart and pulled it out and showed it to you.
Yeah.
That's what I.
A nice
picture that would
smelling
look
mummy,
like.
but yes.
The next one is an octopus.
Now I call foul on this one. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, to me, this one is just too. It's too much of a blob shape for it to have any sort of a distinguishable feature.
Well,
that
and it's
makes it an
missing
octopus.
one very important aspect.
That an octopus would have?
Yes. What is that?
And what would it be?
It has like 2 legs. There's not 8
Yeah.
legs. It's not it's a biped. It's a biopus.
See,
Right?
these are like clouds to me. I look at that and I see like a Winnie the Pooh.
I see nothing on that.
I-
one. It's just a stupid chip.
To me, this one's too blobbish to have.
I
any
don't like that.
distinguishable feature.
It's not an octopus, though.
I like this one. I like the next one. I'm not gonna lie. A
Don't
mullet.
see it.
Mullet.
If you look at this side profile, like as if you're looking at somebody from the side, you can kind of see like a forehead and then a generic shape of a mouth through a chin to the mullet in the back. Business in front,
It's
party
a
in the back.
stretch.
I
I
don't
think it's
know.
a stretch. I think the boot's better.
The boot did look like a boot, at least. I'll give it that.
I do like you trying to get the mullet in there, though. I do appreciate that.
I like the mullet. I'm not gonna lie. I would maybe put a little bit on that one. I would maybe bid on the mullet.
You'd
The next one is
put it on top of a little mannequin with a flipped-up collar.
will complete the look.
Yeah.
The next one's a flamingo, but it like cuts off part of the picture.
Yeah, it cuts
so
his
you
head off. I
Yeah,
can't.
it doesn't, I'm not getting.
So-
I don't get a.
I see a
flamingo.
long leg. That's what I see.
We'll go incomplete on that one. The other one is a casual stroll,
No,
but again, all you get is like legs. And
now you know what I see. Remember the Mike? You probably are too young, but you may have seen this.
I know what you're going to say. Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Yes, it's the keep on trucking dude.
Yeah, because he was little
but
with
his
long
legs
legs.
were coming right at you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the keep?
I have
well,
not,
I
no.
will try to put this out there because that's keep on trucking, not a casual stroll. If they'd have put keep on trucking, I would have bid on that.
Yes.
Not casual stroll. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
no, I said that's the last one there in the article. So
Oh.
I'm gonna, I don't eat Cheetos, but like I'm gonna start buying bags of Cheetos.
Well, I'm going to watch all of my food items and see. You never know.
Well, see, I don't know. Maybe it's the Cheetos because
It
I'm
looked
not.
like most of these were flaming hot. So I wonder,
Yeah.
is it the flaming hot Cheetos that are that way?
I think you're onto something there.
Is it?
I think so. Maybe not every one, but I think you're onto something.
Proportionally, there was more of those.
But I'm not sure you'd get similar value of another food as you would a Cheeto. Do Cheetos ever decompose? Or do Cheetos ever go bad? At worst, they would just stale, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a Twinkie.
Maybe they're like mummies. Maybe they smell nice too.
Maybe they do.
Smell like a flaming hot Cheeto.
But I don't think you could pass off like I don't know if you could pass off anything else like a Cheeto. Like you could pass off a Cheeto as something. Maybe you could, but the Cheetos have the longevity, I think. A Cheeto will look nice in a case, probably better than any other food item.
Yeah.
Look at the case over 5 years or whatever.
I would agree.
So anyway, there's that. So the next set is kind of a stupid criminals-esque sort of a segment. The first one, though, I'm just going to give a heads up. Not necessarily criminal. And he also did die. So we're going to put that out there.
He's got the disclaimer.
I've got the disclaimer up front. We're not going to go through the story and then find out later.
Oh,
it's up
that's
front.
the best way to do it.
No, it's up front. Teen who died after injecting himself with butterfly remains spent 7 agonizing days in the hospital.
I'd
according
read
to
this
these
story.
headlines.
This is terrible.
And I just didn't get it, like, reading the story. So, a Brazilian teen who had died after injecting himself with butterfly remains spent a week agonizing in the hospital before he died, which doctors said may have been caused by an allergic reaction or an infection. He was 14. He suffered excruciating pain in a Brazilian hospital for an entire week after he had admitted to mixing a dead butterfly with water and injected the concoction into his leg.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't get this.
And it says in the article they were trying to find out if he was participating in a social media challenge that had caused his death. A specialist at the hospital had gone on to say that he probably had suffered an embolism, an infection, or an allergic reaction. We don't know how he prepared the mixture or the size of the fragments he managed to eject in his body. There may have been air left inside, which also could have led to an embolism.
Ugh.
Which basically is like a block.
This whole story
blood vessel.
kind of just
It's
creeps me
bad.
out.
It's
A
bad.
squirrel. Why would you do this?
Yeah. And again, at the time of this article, authorities had not ruled out possibility the boy was participating in a social media craze that proved fatal. And it's like, when does it stop? I don't know if that's because I've never seen a second story like this. So I hope it's not a craze or a trend or anything like that. But like, what would compel you? How do you get a syringe and a needle anyway? And then like go crush up a butterfly and mix it with water. It's like, I just don't get what the end result
Things I never
to
thought
be.
I would hear. Please do not inject dead butterfly parts into your body. I never would have thought that. And listen, I'm not saying... When I was a kid growing up, we lived in the country. We did some really stupid stuff. Stupid.
Well, sure.
But it usually involved like jumping out of stuff or jumping over things or, racing motorcycles through cornfields. Stupid things that would have killed us. But not this. I mean,
Yeah,
somebody like, I'm not injecting anything into my body. No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
You didn't eat Tide Pods?
No.
Oh, I think you missed out on that. That one was a fun trend.
We'd had to eat
Very
a handful
wholesome.
of just powder because they didn't even have pods.
Yeah, there was no
They didn't have
pods.
liquid either. It was just a box of powder.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I won't linger too much on that one, but yeah, that one was just crazy to me.
That's awful.
What triggered this social media? Is there a specific type of butterfly? Did they get
Well, I
some
said
kind
they're
of
trying
buzz
to
off of
investigate
it?
whether it was because
So-
I don't know if it was or not.
I think they went to that probably because there's
Yeah.
What else would-
what else would compel it?
Yeah.
So and like I said, I have not seen another story that would indicate that it is some sort of a social media trend, but these days you never know. Unfortunately.
I didn't see the word influencer in there anywhere.
I hope nobody's influencing that. Let's put it that way. So, how about we go to something a little bit more our speed here on the podcast? Florida woman. There we go. There's our
Florida woman.
there's our sweet spot. Florida woman who doused herself in Diet Mountain Dew to tamper with evidence learns her fate in the murder of elderly roommate. Now, I like Mountain Dew, so I was intrigued. I have to learn about the story here. Police said the suspect used a knife and a hammer to kill her 79-year-old roommate, then set the house on fire. Who then also doused herself in Diet Mountain Dew in a last-ditch effort to tamper with evidence, learned that she would spend decades behind bars.
I like how the very first it says a Florida woman who violently murdered her. Can you? I just think you can say murdered.
I think
I
that
don't-
would describe it.
I don't know.
Yes.
Can you non-violently murder somebody? I mean, I guess you could.
I guess you
pump
could.
it full of the room full of like carbon dioxide. But it's still murder. I don't.
Inject them with butterflies.
And a knife and a hammer? What is wrong with you? Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
So we'll get to the part here that I'm most intrigued in here. So let's see. Where was her name? Oh, Nicole Max. 37-year-old Nicole Max. She's set to serve a sentence of 35 years in a state correctional facility. This is the part of the story that I like here. In 2023, she was arrested and charged with one count of first-degree murder, one count of tampering with evidence, and one count of resisting arrest with violence. So
we've established more violence.
She's a violent
She's a
woman.
very violent person.
Yet she only got 35 years for violently murdering somebody and all the other stuff.
And
what is wrong with that?
And violently resisting arrest. But yes, you got a point.
How about you put her in prison and throw the key away? How about that?
That would be better.
And
or put her on death row. She murdered somebody. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead. I keep interrupting you.
I'd say, so building up to kind of like what she did. So yeah, she murdered her roommate, and then she had also set the house on fire. When it gets to the point where she actually gets found by the police, let's see, where is it? Here it is. So it says, police said Max used a knife and a hammer to kill her roommate, 79-year-old Michael Sarasoli, inside a Daytona Beach home around 1:45 a.m. on July 1st of 2023. Police said she set the second floor of the residence on fire. They also recovered a bloody knife near the victim's body and 2 cell phones at the crime scene. Law and Crime reported that a detective spotted a shoeless Max near a restaurant, and she dropped the knife and hammer in his presence when she was confronted. The detectives basically noticed that, hey, she's the main suspect here. After she was arrested, after being pressed by investigators, Max allegedly admitted that she had lived with the man for a short time, and she had only seen him a handful of times. It's like, okay, well, he's your roommate, I guess, but whatever. I don't know how you can only see your roommate a handful of times. She had later also confessed that she was not homeless and had been living with Sarasoli with him, and that she had been at that house earlier. While being taken into custody, police informed her that they were going to take DNA samples from her. She then asked for a drink, which I would assume would be water in most cases, right?
Yeah.
She was handed a can of Diet Mountain Dew.
It is Florida.
That's true.
It was diet. That's what they consider water.
I imagine.
Did you not give her water? It was diet. Oh, that got me.
I imagine the cops are they've got cans of Diet Mountain Dew in the back of their car for some reason.
I think Mountain Dew sponsors the police departments down there.
It's on the side of the police cars.
Dade County Sheriff, sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Their lights, when they flip them on, are all green.
Yeah. And do the do, do the do, do the. That's their siren. Like, wow.
Yeah, well, she got the can of Mountain Dew, and then she doused herself in it. She just dumped it all over her body. Max began to procrastinate while drinking the soft drink, and then, when a detective attempted to grab the can out of her hands, Max began to resist and began pouring the can of soda all over her body and hair, while pulling away from officers in attempts to interfere with the possible collection of evidence from her body. So
Would you like to get the call as a cop and have to deal with this woman? I'm like, really?
I see her holding the can overhead. Don't make me do it.
Well, first, yeah, she's caught with the knife and the hammer, so it's like, okay, you're kind of.
I like how she does drop it.
You're
like,
caught.
I don't know where those are.
I was working on a house.
I live with him, but I've only ever seen that guy like once or twice. I love, the last ditch ever. He's like, you know what? They're going to take evidence. Here's some Diet Mountain Dew for your evidence. Like, ultimately, your hair is
now
still
you can't use it because it's contaminated. It's like,
your hair is still your hair. It doesn't matter whether or not it's had Diet Mountain Dew on it.
When they find her corpse many years from now, after she's passed away, she will smell like Mountain Dew. She'll smell good.
They'll take DNA samples. Oh my gosh, Mountain Dew.
Maybe they'll have a surprise witness. It's RFK Jr. and he'll be like, "Oh, this has Yellow 7 and it can't be used as admitted evidence." She gets off on a technicality.
She was very prophetic then in her attempts to change her chemical makeup.
Yes.
Okay, so the next couple stories, I was caught off guard by the headline because, like, how is this even possible? I didn't know you could even do this. from the smoking gun.
I gotta say, it's the first I've ever heard of it.
Man 27 arrested on lap dance larceny charge.
Stole a
He
lap.
stole lap dances.
Okay.
So Muhammad Abdullah Alabilan, the 27-year-old Pennsylvania man, was arrested on petty theft charge for allegedly stealing a lap dance. The act of stealing a lap dance? We'll find out. So cops said that he was buying a service from a woman inside a Florida strip club. Shocker.
Florida?
Yes. So Pennsylvania man came a while for a Florida lap dance. So the Florida strip club basically went to, hey, pay up. He refused to pay the $40 service fee. He was sought to leave the Rain nightclub in Clearwater without paying the $40. So the deputies collared him and basically spent a night in the jail where he was released after posting. I love this part where he got out on bond after posting $40. I can't pay your lap dance, but I can pay my bond. So now he has to stay away from the nightclub and several other places. I'd never seen a stolen lap dance before, but apparently you just don't pay for one. So
I guess.
that's how you get out of stealing a lap dance. I also like how the bond was $40. It's like, in what world, I guess, is maybe karma? It's maybe karmaic that
Did he
You
like
can't pay
stick the
$40?
bond in the edge of their pants, or
the judge is like,
Yeah.
nice bond you got there.
The cop's a leather hand tool belt.
man? Did you read about this club? The club.
It's very high tech.
He was ordered to stay away from the Rain, REIGN, which features 55 televisions, 3 full liquor bars, 30 private dance rooms. Private dancer.
Who even needs a lap dance when you got 55
What's
TVs?
playing on the television? What
Sports.
What? Why?
It's like Buffalo Wild
Now,
Wings.
granted, I don't frequent a gentleman's club. But if you do, are you going to watch TV? What's the point?
There's 55 of them.
Maybe he got distracted, and he didn't even realize he had gotten a lap dance. I'm not paying for this.
Well, all you need with your 55 TVs is just a nice Diet Mountain Dew.
I won't
you're
pay
all
for
set.
this debt I incurred. It's unjust.
Well, you'll be shocked to know that
I thought we were all gentlemen here.
You'll be shocked to know that there was a second lap dance heist that occurred.
No, I do like how this one is a heist.
Yes.
I forget.
Heist. What a
We got a team
team-
assist. All right, here's what we got to do.
All right.
Laying it out. They're practicing with mannequins
Yeah.
for weeks.
All right,
all right, we got to get this down pat.
All right,
Come on.
wheels, you're driving.
I never get to go in. That's because you're wheels. Who made me wheels? I'm not even a very good driver.
I don't even have a car.
Why can't I steal a lap dance? Because you're the wheel man. Picture him like zip lining in a la Tom Cruise stopping an inch above the floor. I mean, just look at this guy hanging like, what is going on?
Well, actually, I think they learned from the best. That monkey down there in Peru, I think they taught him.
Maybe the monkey's in there with him getting lap dances. Sorry, go
And
ahead.
teach him how to ransack the place. So you'll be shocked to know that this is also in Florida.
That's the Rain again.
Even better.
Maybe they don't have good stuff on TV. Maybe that's. We have 55 of them.
Oh my gosh. So this guy actually, John Elbertson, unlawfully obtained the property of another lap dances.
To wit, it
To
says.
wit, yes. To wit, lap dances of a value of $160.
Now, was that multiple? Is that what? They have multiple, like, different lap
He was
dances?
running
cost
a tab.
different- Well, I like to think of that it's the one, but they're different prices. So you can go in, you can get like one on sale. Well, she's our $40 lap dancer. We got the 160. We got the Primo. We got the Primo one. It's like, I've only got $20. Oh, well. Mike? Give me the $20.
Where's that monkey?
Well, I think I like this too because in the first story, they did not have the whole, like, the property of another to wit. So I think they wised up after the first time.
Yes.
Like, yeah, no one's getting by with this again. So the cops charged this guy. The lap dances were the property of Rain Ladies and Gents, a Clearwater establishment. So, yeah, basically, he didn't pay his $160 worth of services, and then he displayed a indication of alcohol influence. I know
I
you're
like how they
shocked.
say it's the property. I can picture this guy's lawyer. Your Honor, I would like to submit for evidence under A, one lap dance. Oh, it's not here? That's right. I would like you to produce this lap dance that my client supposedly stole, Your Honor. I picture the cops coming in. Ma'am, could you bring your lap over here? We got to dust you for prints.
I just spilled my Diet Mountain Dew on myself. No, I
Crime
can't.
Stoppers. Tonight on Crime Stoppers. They got a
Lap dances.
reenactment.
Yeah, it's not the
John
same.
came into the lucky lady, sat down for a lap dance, and he never paid. If you have any tips regarding this terrible crime,
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even know you could even steal lap dances before this, let alone pull off heists of lap dances.
If you've seen this lap,
Oh, my gosh.
this is a picture of the lap.
I picture that they bring in a bunch of guys, and all you see is the laps, and then the stripper has to pick out which one.
Number 3, turn around.
See, now, yeah, you got to try to figure out. Now, what if you put a turtle in your pants? Good luck. See, now you take it out. It's like, hey, well, that's not the one. It was more boxy and hard. Like, oh, no. Sorry, Mike. We've derailed.
No, that's
we've
great.
derailed your whole your whole system. Here.
Oh,
Your
that's
whole thing.
great. So the last one I had, this is the last story here. The headline was, woman accused of locking boyfriend in storage unit for days, wanted for attempted murder. North Carolina woman is charged with attempted murder after allegedly locking her boyfriend in a storage unit where he was stuck for several days with no food or water before being rescued. Robin Deaton, 52, of Matthews, North Carolina, was arrested. She was booked into jail after a manhunt by police. Her 51-year-old boyfriend had been locked in the unit on Thursday, where police said where Deaton allegedly convinced him to crawl to the back of the unit to get her something, then slammed the door shut and said, "This is what you get."
Maybe she found out he was stealing lap dances.
Oh, could be.
Maybe that's where he was. Maybe he was keeping him in the store, keeping those lap dances in the storage locker. I'm gonna sell them later on the black market. Sorry.
Well, you got to get a value for your heist.
Some guy's like, "I'll take the $40 lap dance." Yeah, all right, sit down. And then he starts crying. "What are you doing? This is your lap dance."
Is that
For
on,
$60,
was that on
I'll put a
eBay?
turtle in my pants.
Oh my gosh.
I know we keep doing this thing.
The turtle package.
The turtle package.
For an extra fee, we could have the monkey ransack you.
Get a turtle lap dance and a monkey ransacking. Now that is a Friday night in Florida. That is, woo! That's worth 12 hours in jail and $160.
That might have to be added to the Florida Man games, the lap dance heist.
You got to try to steal it and get away with it.
Oh my gosh. That one will be exclusively held at the Rain Gentlemen's Club, I think. That contest.
Apparently, it's not easy. These guys got caught, so it's not easy to steal. Oh my
man.
gosh.
So in this story, the boyfriend had no food, no water, or power source. There were 2 locks on the storage unit, police said. The man called 911 on Monday, so he was stuck Thursday to Monday, and he had told the dispatcher that his girlfriend locked him in there.
Why did he wait till Monday?
Well, here's the thing.
I'm going to call the cops.
She's coming back. I know she is.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
here's the thing. So he didn't have his phone was
Okay.
in the storage unit, but he didn't have it like directly on him at the time. So he went all the way to the back. She shut the door, locked him in there. Like his phone was somewhere in there, but not directly on him at the time. So in the dark, the guy is trying to navigate his way back to the front and then find his phone to get help.
It took 2 days?
Oh, it took 4 days.
Oh, it took 4
So
days for him to navigate up and
from
find it?
from Thursday to Monday that he was in the storage.
He got no ads. He
I
got no
get-
nothing that made the light come on.
I get that it's dark. I feel like I can find my phone in less than 4 days. Maybe not.
Have you
I mean,
seen
I
some
would
of
kind
these
of
storage
remember
units?
my path from the front to the back. I mean,
Well, have you seen some of these storage units?
It could be
true,
packed full.
true.
People put a lot of things in these
And
storage
maybe
units.
it fell down behind a bunch of boxes.
I'm
That's
just
true.
surprised. Like if I was trapped in there in the dark and there was just stuff all around me, and I had to try to find my phone somewhere in this giant storage unit, my battery would not make it 4 days. my phone would be off, and I would be donezo. So basically, he was able to find his phone. He was able to call emergency services, and they got him out. So around 1:15 p.m. on Monday, so basically 4 days, the guy was trapped, locked in the storage unit. That made me think, too, what would be some of the absolute worst places? If you were stuck somewhere for 4 days with, like, no food, no water, no
That's
connection to
pretty
the
bad.
outside, what would
Before
be
you go there, I have one line I wanted to read
ahead.
from this
Go ahead.
story that you kind of skipped over. I don't know, it's right above the picture of the storage locker. He says, "My girlfriend locked me in here. She doubled up my lock, and I don't know how she put me in, but she put me in here." He doesn't know how, but she
it
did.
was pretty obvious. Yeah, you got sent to the back, and she shut the door
So
on you.
I just like the way he said, "I don't know how she put me in here, but she put me in here."
I like how they asked, after he said all that, told him all the things he said had been in there locked in. They said, "Do you need emergency services?" No, I just felt like I needed to get this off my chest. It's really been weighing on me for the 4 days I was in here without food and water or air. Why? Yes, I want somebody to come and get me out.
Yeah. Just a small detail.
One last thing before we move. I feel, too, they don't tell you. I need to know what he did to invoke this kind of anger to see if it was worth it. Was she just overly emotional? Not that happens. I would never say any woman is overly emotional.
No,
I'm saying
we would never
this
say that.
particular person.
Well, this is what he got. That's what she said. This is what he got.
So I need to know what he did to get this. Because
I don't think we're going to know.
He may be. I mean, he may be getting exactly what he deserves, or worse. I don't know. Maybe he should got worse than that. But I feel like I need that to get the full picture.
That is another cliffhanger. We'll have to follow up again.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I was thinking, because to me that sounds awful. This whole thing sounds awful. Trapped in darkness. You have to navigate your way out of the back of a storage unit, which again, these things can be big, but they can also be cluttered, just full of junk, just boxes, furniture. And then for 4 days with no food or water in complete darkness. What else would be as bad as that? Because that to me would be pretty darn bad.
How about stuck on an airplane? I remember seeing the 70s movie where the airplane went into the ocean and it went underneath and they were all stuck under the water.
Under the water would be bad.
That would be pretty bad.
Or stuck on a subway. Kind of how Elaine was in Seinfeld. Now, she was just for a little bit. The lights went off and you're just crammed in there shoulder to shoulder with people.
One of mine would be, and I saw it in a TV show. I don't know what it would be, but it just freaked me out. If you were ever caught for some reason in a morgue and you couldn't get out of the morgue,
Couldn't get out?
like
Yeah.
if you were in one of those like little the little body container things, and going along with that too, if you were like buried alive,
That's
that
what I
percent-
had.
alive.
I had a dirt grave. That
that would be
underground in a box.
Yeah,
Have you seen those movies where they kidnap somebody and they bury them underground and they won't tell the cops where they're at? They're giving them clues. Oh,
yeah, that would freak me out.
I'm claustrophobic anyway, so that would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
tough.
That'd be even worse because I think in the storage unit you could at least maybe move around. You could have some sort of facilities about you, but there's not a lot of place to go in a coffin. Basically, you're pretty much stuck.
Now this says trapped for days. What about upside
days.
down on a roller coaster?
Oh, that'd be bad.
Now days, I don't know if you could survive that. Your brain, all the blood running to your brain, but
Yeah. One of the other ones too that always, and I see videos on it, and it freaks me out when I see it because I just get secondhand. Yeah, claustrophobia is the people who go into the cave divers That always terrified me. Too. Even just watching the videos, these guys like crawling through.
Yeah.
All it takes is like one thing to snag or your leg to get caught, and it's like you're stuck. You're
Any
stuck.
of the claustrophobic things, it's like, ugh.
I made a mistake one time of going down a rabbit hole and of watching different things, and one of them was.
Are you going down a rabbit hole now?
No.
Oh.
Turtle hole. But of this person, and he ended up dying. But he was exploring, some young guy, like 20 or 22, was exploring some cave, and they showed. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I'm like, I think it was on Australia or somewhere. They put up this thing where they got to him to get him out, but he had gotten in such a small, tight spot, and it had like a 90-degree L shape, and he went, and it was like, so it bent him. He went, waist was bent at 90 degrees. But it was so tight he couldn't back out, and he ended up dying after they tried to get him out. They could talk to him. They had his feet, tried to get him. Yeah, he died.
A horrible
It's like,
feeling.
I have zero interest in exploring it. I see it. Oh, look at that cave. Yeah, let's just stay away from it because I have no interest in being in there.
I still wonder about the woman that fell between the two buildings.
Yeah.
That was a number of years
Yes.
ago on this podcast.
Completely naked, wedged between two buildings.
Yes, and
upside down.
She could not get out.
Wasn't she upside down?
I believe so.
Yeah.
We never and no, they never did tell what happened.
We never got a follow up.
Like
She
that.
could still be there.
So many cliffhangers in these stories.
Yes.
I'm not realizing that.
Maybe somebody skipped out on paying her for her lap dance and she was trying to chase them down. They were jumping rooftop to rooftop after the heist.
Yes.
Yeah. Of any of those, I would not want to be stuck in any of those places.
No.
It just freaks me out. Even just thinking about it. It's like,
It does.
ugh,
Yeah,
I don't want to
I'm
be
with
there.
you. No, I don't like it at all.
Do you need emergency services? No, I'm good.
That's what I love.
good.
That's do you need them. Like, why would you? I called 911. Yes, I do.
Isn't that implied when I make the call?
Yes. And I tell you, I've been stuck in here for 4 days. It's double locked. I can't get out.
But in their defense.
Would you like help?
Nah, I'm good.
In their defense, it is Florida. And I bet the calls
that was
they
North
get.
Carolina, wasn't it?
this
That was North Carolina.
Oh, it was North Carolina.
Yeah.
I still bet the calls they get. Oh my God.
I'm sure, but still,
You got to respond though.
we'll just say, okay, help is on the way, sir. Help is on the way.
And with that, that's about all I had. Did you guys have anything else?
I'm done.
no,
Great
they were
job,
good.
man. It was
Yeah.
fun. I love it.
The wild ride.
It was. All right. Well, I guess we will wrap this episode up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take a deep breath. Let it out. It's going to be okay. Make sure you're tuning in 7 days. Do a little laughing, a little relaxing.
I thought you were going to say lap dances.
Do a little lap
Do a
dance.
little lap dance. We won't even charge you.
Check
We'll
out,
give you one for free.
check out our Only Mics page.
Hope you're tuning in 7 days. Until then, see ya.
Later.
Peace.